Melissa, we've got a lot of people like questioning, like, are we running into a spot where we're going to see foreclosures like 2008 and this and that?
Hmm.
And I gotta say, I totally disagree. But we are in a place, and I'm curious in your thoughts on this. But we are in a place where people are in their own type of bubble that they've made, right? They've bitten off more than they could chew. Maybe they've lost a job. Maybe, who knows what it could be. So I wanted to, number one, I wanted to kind of hear your take on that because you've been doing this for almost 2 decades now. You've seen the ins and outs. And then I
Hmm.
wanted to talk with you about how to avoid a foreclosure if somebody was going to do that.
I've been seeing a lot of interest on social media about 2008 compared to where we are now. And there are so many factors that are different without really boring everybody with the historical what happened snafu. We were kind of in a perfect storm. First and foremost, we had very, very, very aggressive lending practices. That is not something that we've had here. So people that were not well qualified were getting loans in some instances on a stated income program where they just made up how much money they were where they were making. That's not how the loans were intended to be used, but
No.
they were abused just like anything else. So that's the first problem or major difference, is that we did not have aggressive lending practices. Now, what did we have now? We did have very true economic factors in the market where the supply was outpaced by the demand, like at least double.
Right.
So we were seeing so many people overbidding on properties and paying more than what it was valued for. But we didn't have those aggressive lending practices to go with it. So, in theory, they should be able to afford all of those loans that they've qualified themselves for. Now, what you can't know, and this is the kind of personal bubble, what if they get into a place of losing their job, or they lose hours at work, where now, even though they had this very affordable loan program, they're now faced with a situation or a circumstance where they can't afford that particular loan anymore. And perhaps they paid more than what the market is demanding for it. Depending on how much the market is backsliding, I
Yep.
think we're going to start seeing people who may be in a position where they can sell at a break even
Yep.
or with a little bit of equity in their pocket. But most important is that if they are finding that they are struggling financially to make ends meet because of some of those external pressures, losing a job, losing a loved one, breaking up, just losing an income in the house that you were otherwise used for qualification purposes, relocation. These are the kinds of things that are external pressures that weren't anticipated, weren't a result of bad lending practices, but now we're essentially necessitating these homeowners to consider, do I keep this house or do I sell it? And if I sell it, am I going to make money on it? Am I going to be a break even? Or, potentially looking at a place where I'm upside down on the value.
Yeah.
I think the struggle is if people don't do anything and they end up losing their jobs now, things go from bad to worse. They start having more and more debt. That's when they start chasing their tail. So the goal of this conversation is avoid that. The
Of
writing is
course.
going to be on the wall.
Yeah.
So if you're in a position where you're already getting notices of foreclosure, it may be too late. So
Oh,
make sure that you are trying to get help while the writing is still on the wall. You're starting to see, okay, I'm late this month, and next month maybe you miss a payment, and now you're trying to get caught up and you're looking for odd jobs. That's when you need to realize, okay, maybe unloading this particular property will help my situation. Let me talk to a realtor about what it's worth. What can I
yeah.
sell it for? Maybe you can walk away with equity in your pocket to help your situation.
True.
If you're ahead of the curve, you're going to pad your own pocket opposed to the bank's pocket. Don't wait. Don't put your head in the sand and think it'll get better. We'll figure it out, because it might not.